WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often trying rare and exotic whiskeys. Even in Germany, this is rare and exotic. I have a single barrel. This is Tennessee Bourbon, 7 years of age from a Tennessee distillery. Pickle. It was distilled on the 28th of February 2016. It was bottled on the 26th of June 2023. Matured in a barrel. I hate that. I literally hate that. So you have a bottle, you have a label, and it's like, oh, I have to put what type of barrel it's in because we don't know. Of course we know. If we know American whiskey, we know it's going to be a new charred oak barrel. But of course in Europe, and especially with Scotch whiskey, you never know what type of barrel. Is it a hogshead? Is it a sherry butt? Is it a port pipe? Is it a reused distillery wood? Is it a first fill bourbon barrel? We never know. But in America, we always know. Matured in a barrel. Why put that even on there? It's not a legal requirement. It's just... And this was cask number 67, which I really don't understand who gave that bottle or that barrel the cask number 67, but maybe I do. So we have bottle number of the 214 bottles we have 65, and we have here 59.8% ABV. So I was at a whiskey fair just a couple of weeks ago, and then the owner of the Whiskey Market Cologne, his name is actually on the bottle here, Gregor Naka, came to me and said, hey, Jason, you want to try this? Give me your bottle. Give me your glass. And so he came over with a bottle. He poured a little bit in my glass. And I was like, that's an interesting, it's a Tennessee whiskey. It's Dickel. It's 7 years of age. And I said, what's the price? He said 59 euros. I was like, that's not a bad price. All right. And so I bought the bottle. I did a bottle share. There's a little bit left in it. It's gone by the time that my German video goes online. And then I decided to do a little bit of marketing for him because Gregor used to be, and that's not his fault, but rather someone else's fault, he used to be the shop for Cadenheads in Germany. He was the first, I think he was actually the first independent Cadenhead shop outside of Scotland. Here in Cologne, or close by to me in Cologne, Germany. Cadenheads canceled all the contracts with the independent shops. At least from the viewpoint of us in Germany. And he had to realign his whole business. He's been there, I think, 2011? I mean, he's like 12, 13 years he's been doing this, but hey, that's that. What the interesting thing is I have a second bottle here that I just recently did myself a video about, and this is a 12-year-old Tennessee bourbon whiskey from Tullahoma, Dickel, and matured in a new American oak barrel. And we have cask number MOS, which stands for Malts of Scotland from Paderborn, Germany. And it was 23032. This was distilled 2011. This was distilled 2016, so 5 years later. This was bottled in 2023. This was also bottled in 2023. What I think is what I think is interesting, out of the same size barrel, we get 151 bottles here. Here we got 214. Now I know this was bottled in Scotland. The Whiskey Market Cologne bottle, the 7-year-old. I think this was actually bottled in Germany. So product of America. So there's no other information here. Now the sticker was not properly glued, and so it's always falling off, but that's okay. So we have here 59 euros. Here we have 79 euros. So let's just say it's 79. So it's 20 euros more for 5 extra years. I just kind of want to put this into perspective here at the moment. What can I get for 59 euros in Germany? I can get at the moment a Bibbentucker 6-year-old whiskey with 46% for 61 euros. So 2 euros more. I get a whiskey, Bibbentucker Tennessee whiskey, 1 year less and 13% less. I can get a George Dickel handcrafted 8-year-old with 45% for 63 euros. So I'm going to pay 4 euros more, get 14% less alcohol, but 1 year more of age. And I can get, for example, a Noah's Mill, 57.1%, 59.8. The Noah's Mill is going to run me about 69 euros over here. So this, with 59 euros, is a bargain. It's a steal. It's a single barrel, cask strength, 7-year-old Tennessee bourbon just for Germany. So there's a lot of other things out there that cost way more money that just don't have the stats that this whiskey has. Now, if I go over here and I want to pay 20 euros more for a 12-year-old cask strength whiskey, I'm going to just say, hey, it's actually almost the same price at the moment, maybe 5 euros more, but it's Elijah Craig 12, barrel proof. This is a single barrel, and so even that's very, very nice. So even we over here in Germany at the moment, at least I have 2 examples here. Are we spoiled for choice? I'm not sure, but do we have choices for single barrel? We don't have store picks. We have single barrels over here of Tennessee whiskey, George Dickel, both of these. Yeah, and they're affordable prices. Yeah. I don't know if they send abroad, if they send internationally, but if you just type in whiskey minus hyphen market, market.com, maybe they'll be willing to send out some bottles, at least Europe-wide, if not internationally, if possible. I don't know. Let's compare the two of these. First of all, let's compare the color. Now, the 12-year-old is a tiny bit more of a brown hue, and the 7-year-old has a little bit more of an orange hue. On the nose, I get a little bit more of a brown sugar wood as well as a pecan, roasted pecan moment. Over here, I get more of a popcorn moment and a little bit of orange peel and a tiny bit of vanilla. I prefer the 12-year-old on the nose rather than the 7, but the 7 is still a very nice, interesting nose. I actually, at the whiskey fair there, I was nosing this more than I was actually drinking it. It was a very, very, very nice nose. So let's try this a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now, we are talking about a product that has 59.8%. We are talking about a product that spent, I'm going to say actually the majority of its life outside of Tennessee, but rather in the UK. It was aged there. It was bottled there. I have no idea what banjo playing person is behind the raccoon here. I do like the label. It's very interesting. And it just says Tennessee bourbon. Every single bottle, someone actually put the nice little number in here, so you have a nice handwriting person, and on the back, of course, you have to have a label. The person who actually imports the whiskey have to have the liability if something's wrong, and so there's the address of the shop of the whiskey market Cologne on the back here. Over here, the same information is down here, so we have exactly in Paderborn in Germany, we have all the information here. As well, if something is a recall, there's the European law that says every single product, especially alcoholic products, have to have a European address of the person who brought it into the European Union. So Scotland no longer counts. So let's go over here real quick to our 12-year-old as a comparison. I like. Spoiler alert. B- for value for money. Taste C+. Over here, the 12-year-old. For 20 euros more, you do get more depth. You do get a little bit more of a wood complexity. You do get a little bit less of the popcorn moment and more of a pecan nuttiness going on in there. But there has a little bit of a burn, this has absolutely, for me, no bitterness whatsoever from the wood, the tannins. This is starting, it's not over oaked, but it's starting to go in that direction. So we have here 57.6. It's still a good cask strength, barrel proof. We have here 59.8. I think both of these whiskeys, for their specs, are great examples of what George Nickel can do, distillery, and what the prices of bourbon could be like for single barrel products if we did not have, I'm going to use the word, so many middlemen. That's what I'm looking for. All right, so this barrel was bought, it was stored, and it was bottled. Boom. This barrel was bought, it was stored, it was bottled. Boom. We did not have 4 or 5 different people buying the barrel, reselling the barrel, and reselling again and reselling again until someone finally bottled it. And each time it changed hands, I'm sure that barrel went up at least 10%. And so 10% times 4 would be 40% more. And that's what's happening a lot in the whiskey industry at the moment, which just makes my heart saddened, because we can get good stuff for a good price if we had only more and more down to earth. I'm going to use the word down to earth whiskey shops that were willing to actually pass on the barrel prices, the bottle prices for a normal margin rate. All right. So telling trade secrets here. Over here in Germany, often the margin for the online, for the stores, 30%. The margin for a importer, 30%. So you take a bottle that costs 20%. So 30% on top, 30% on top, you're going to be at then 60. So we're going to go to 32 euros. You have to add the alcohol tax, and you have to add the VAT tax. So another 19% on top for the VAT, 13.03 euros per liter pure alcohol. And so we're running around, if that bottle price was originally 20 euros in the barrel, you're going to be about 50 euros for us in the store. And so you see this was actually less. So, and if you take the 20 euros here for the bottle price, you times it by the 200 bottles you get out of here. So we're talking 4,000 euros for a barrel. Now, you're going to buy a new make barrel for less. You're going to buy a 2-year-old whiskey for more. You're going to buy a 4-year-old whiskey for even more. And that's where we're getting at the $4,000 price, 4,000 euro price, often, at least by the time the barrels make it over here. And then it just goes up and up and up as many people buy the barrels and resell the barrels and deal with those barrels. And that's just where that's an unnecessary cost for us consumers. So my question of the day, I give this, as I said, a B- for value for money, a C+ for taste. My question of the day is, what is your favorite Tennessee whiskey with 50% or more ABV? Is it going to be our wonderful, wonderful Jack Daniel's single barrel proof? Yeah. Is it going to be something else that I just don't have here? What is going to be your favorite bottle out there? Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and I hope to share a little bit of insight into the European market and over here at the brand level, what we're doing with our whiskeys. WhiskyJason, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye-bye.